And right now, the hardest hit are workers under 25 and entry-level jobs most exposed to AI. That the company has quietly cut 35% of its small team managers over the past year. Microsoft has cut more than 15,000 workers this summer, partly targeting those middle ranks.
That AI-related job losses could lead to workforce reductions of 4% over the next year and 11% over the next 3 years. 1 million fired and 5.1 million hired, and that gives you job gains of 100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about the U.S. economy. When they did the return to office thing, they moved back, and then they were fired after that. Wages have not gone up, but hours have gone up. If that's the case, you can expect perhaps some increase.
The economy is breaking in ways nobody wants to talk about. While politicians trade blame about rising costs and manufacturing jobs, there's a massive crisis brewing that could destroy millions of careers in the next 2 years. And the worst part? We're completely unprepared for what's coming. Right now, Democrats and Republicans are locked in their usual finger-pointing match about the economy. The vice president just acknowledged that housing costs have skyrocketed, drugs are more expensive, and everyday Americans are struggling to afford basic necessities. His response? Blame the previous administration while claiming the current one deserves an A++ rating. But here's what they're not telling you about the real economic tsunami headed our way. The Wall Street Journal just exposed a devastating truth about American manufacturing. Remember when tariffs were supposed to bring back millions of factory jobs? The exact opposite happened. Motor vehicle employment dropped by 15,000 jobs since January. Steel and aluminum manufacturing stayed completely flat. Zero growth, zero renaissance. Meanwhile, companies that use steel and aluminum are hemorrhaging jobs because of the increased costs. But this manufacturing debate is a distraction from something far more terrifying.
Building on something that he started in his first term, they want those materials to be manufactured inside the U.S.
Energy infrastructure, for our transportation infrastructure, for almost every national defense application, you have to use aluminum. A job in Canada in the aluminum industry smelting metal supports 13 jobs in the United States. 40% of the cost of producing, smelting aluminum, it's really the electricity.
According to top industry insiders, by 2026, artificial intelligence will eliminate the need for junior positions in software development, banking, legal services, and marketing. These aren't factory jobs we're talking about. These are the white-collar positions that college graduates have relied on for decades to start their careers. And they're disappearing faster than anyone realizes. Here's where it gets even more alarming. America is losing the AI race to China in ways that should keep you up at night. While we're arguing about tariffs and yesterday's economic policies, China is building new AI infrastructure at a pace that's crushing our capabilities. Every single month, they're constructing new power plants specifically for AI development. No permits needed, no environmental reviews, just pure, focused execution on dominating the future of technology. The power crisis alone should terrify every American. Right now, there isn't a single gigawatt of spare electricity left on the American power grid. Not one. To build the AI infrastructure we desperately need, companies require 1.4 gigawatts of power per data center. That's enough electricity to power hundreds of thousands of homes. And here's the kicker. When these data centers tap into local grids, electricity costs for hospitals, schools, and residential homes jump by 30% overnight. Industry experts are now scrambling to find solutions. Some are looking at stranded natural gas in states like North Dakota, West Virginia, and Texas. But the real gold mine of cheap energy? Alberta, Canada. They have natural gas power at under 4 cents per kilowatt hour, while everywhere else in North America is paying over 6 cents. Yet instead of partnering with our neighbors, we're imposing tariffs and creating unnecessary friction. The implications for national security are staggering. China's AI development isn't just about chatbots and image generators. They're using this technology to revolutionize military drone capabilities. Every month they fall further behind is another month closer to losing technological superiority in defense systems that could determine the outcome of future conflicts. But let's talk about what this means for your job, your kids' futures, and the American dream itself. When AI eliminates millions of entry-level positions, Where will young people start their careers? How will they gain experience? How will they pay off student loans? The unemployment rate already ticked up to 4.6%, and that's before the AI revolution really hits. The only jobs that might survive this technological tsunami are those centered on human creativity and interpersonal connection. Live events, creative design, artisanal manufacturing, and anything that requires genuine human interaction will become more valuable than ever. Think about it. As more of our lives become automated and digital, the hunger for authentic human experiences will explode. Some experts predict we'll see a renaissance in live entertainment over the next 30 years. Not just concerts and sports, but elaborate human experiences that no AI can replicate. The design world, fashion, custom furniture, architectural innovation, anything that requires true creativity rather than process optimization will thrive.
1,800 to target a slew of layoffs has raised fears that AI is already whacking corporate jobs. My colleague Frank Holland found there was some AI-related job losses, but 34,000 were linked largely to closing buildings.
Using AI and introducing it to save jobs turns out to be an enormously complicated.
That AI-related job losses could lead to workforce reductions of 4% over the next year and 11% over the next 3 years.
But these fields can't possibly absorb the millions of workers who'll be displaced from traditional white-collar jobs. The solution might come from an unexpected place: space. Serious discussions are happening right now about putting power generation stations in low Earth orbit. It sounds like science fiction, but it might be our only way to generate enough electricity for the AI age without destroying our existing power infrastructure. The technology exists. The question is whether we'll move fast enough to implement it.
And right now, the hardest hit are workers under 25 and entry-level jobs most exposed to AI. That the company has quietly cut 35% of its small team managers over the past year. Microsoft has cut more than 15,000 workers this summer, partly targeting those middle ranks. Former Google HR chief Laszlo Bock, and he told me that hyperscalers are clearly cutting staff to fund their in-house chips.
Meanwhile, the current administration's tariff policies are making everything worse. Take aluminum production. To make aluminum, you need bauxite. America doesn't produce bauxite, so we're essentially taxing ourselves on materials we have to import anyway. It's like putting a tax on bananas or pineapples, products we simply can't make domestically. The policy makes zero economic sense. Even worse, building an aluminum plant takes 10 years and requires a gigawatt of power that our grid doesn't have. So even if tariffs worked perfectly, we wouldn't see new manufacturing jobs for a decade. By then, those factories would be run by robots anyway, not the blue-collar workers everyone claims to be helping.
Past disruptions where the new technology is either net the same or even better.
1 million fired and 5.1 million hired, and that gives you job gains of 100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about the U.S. economy. When they did the return to office thing, they moved back, and then they were fired after that. Wages have not gone up, but hours have gone up. If that's the case, you can expect perhaps some increase. Does maybe create this hiring freeze, entry-level jobs, and call centers is another place.
The smart approach would be reciprocal tariffs that match what other countries charge us. If Switzerland puts an 8.3% tax on American goods, we charge them 8.3%. Simple, fair, and understandable. Instead, we're seeing random tariffs of 39% that create chaos without achieving any strategic goals. What makes this even more frustrating is that we're having the wrong conversation entirely. While politicians debate bringing back manufacturing jobs from the 1970s, we should be preparing for a future where traditional employment might not exist for huge segments of the population. We need to be talking about universal basic income, massive retraining programs, and completely reimagining education for an AI-dominated economy. The data centers being built today will determine who controls the future. Whoever has the most AI computing power will dominate everything from military technology to economic productivity. And right now, China is winning that race by a mile. They're not slowed down by permits, environmental reviews, or political infighting. They just build. Here's something that should chill you to the bone. Chinese AI development is specifically focused on military applications first. While American companies use AI to improve search results and create chatbots, China is revolutionizing drone warfare and autonomous weapons systems. The country that wins the AI race won't just have an economic advantage, they'll have military superiority that could last for generations. The American people deserve better than politicians arguing about who's to blame for current inflation while ignoring the existential crisis heading our way. We need leaders who understand that the economy of 2026 will look nothing like today's economy. We need infrastructure investment on a scale not seen since the interstate highway system. We need education reform that prepares workers for jobs that don't exist yet. Most importantly, we need to stop fighting yesterday's battles. Manufacturing jobs aren't coming back in the numbers politicians promise.
Everything that just got listed in inclusions for new tariffs, it's 6 times more than the total. These are derivatives, right? So these are derivatives of steel and aluminum. I think it was a surprise.
And all of a sudden, the goods that you've already ordered that are in transit are now going to cost more than you expected.
You know, there was a comment period for people to ask for those inclusions. I understand that the ones who asked pretty much got them granted. Slightly different here, but it still shows you had a massive dislocation in the market. I mean, copper dropped 20% that day.
Tariffs won't magically recreate the 1950s economy. The future belongs to whoever masters AI, renewable energy, and human creativity. Everything else is just noise. The clock is ticking. Every day we waste arguing about outdated economic policies is another day China pulls further ahead, another day closer to massive youth unemployment, another day closer to an economy where traditional career paths simply don't exist anymore. The solutions exist: natural gas partnerships with Canada, orbital power stations, massive investment in creative industries, retraining programs for displaced workers. But implementing these solutions requires admitting that the old playbook no longer works. It requires leaders willing to tell hard truths instead of comfortable lies. The American dream isn't dead, but it's about to transform in ways most people can't imagine. Those who adapt will thrive in an economy of unprecedented creativity and human connection. Those who cling to the past will be left behind. The choice is ours, but we need to make it soon. Because whether we're ready or not, the AI revolution is coming. The only question is whether America will lead it or be crushed by it. And right now, we're running out of time to decide. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.